Hello again, Flosstubers. Welcome back to my channel, Pages and Stitches. That's spelled pages, the number 3 stitches, and that is the same on Instagram as it is here on YouTube. My name is Kelly, and I'm very happy to have you here with me today for my February update. I have a lot to show you. I'm glad you're here. It's probably gonna be a long video. I know some people really like long videos though, so hooray. Just get yourself a drink, a snack, get out your stitching, and let's get started because we're going to be here for a minute. So today is February 28th, 2023, last day of February, and this is Flosstube update number 16, I believe. Let me just start the video off by saying a massive thank you to everybody who is here for this update. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back every month. I truly appreciate your kindness and your friendship and your support. I read every single comment. I do my best to respond as quickly as possible to all those comments. Yeah, so I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the kindness and support you guys continue to show me. And if you are new here, if this is your first time checking out my channel, welcome. I hope that you like what you see. I hope you keep coming back for more. Hit like and subscribe. Leave me a comment and say hi, because I love saying hi to all the people that are following me along as I continue on my Flosstube journey. Also, if you're new here, you may notice behind me I have a quilt design wall up because I also do a quilting update every month, separate from my Flosstube update. So I have Flosstube videos, and then I have separate videos for quilting called Quilter's Corner. So if you're at all interested in quilting, look out for those videos because the next update is going to be posted shortly after this video. So if you have any sort of interest at all, if you're curious what I'm doing, if you have any questions about quilting, or if you just want to hang out and be nosy, then all are welcome. So like I said, I have a lot to share with you today, which I'm really excited about. The reason for that is because in January I had surgery, and so I've been off of work for 6 weeks. Don't worry, I'm totally fine. I'm in good health. My job requires me to do physical labor, so I'm not allowed to go back until I am free of all restrictions. So I got a nice 6-week vacation from work. Let me start off with my reading update as usual. If this is your first video, the Pages and Stitches represents my other passion aside from cross-stitching and quilting, which is reading. So I'm gonna do a quick reading update and show you the books that I've read in the last month. Okay, so the first book I read was Hooked by Emily McIntyre. And then I went with Happenstance by Tessa Bailey. She's one of my favorite romance authors at the moment. And then I read a Not So Meet Cute by Meghan Quinn. This is the first of a trilogy. And then next I read Fortuna by KJ Sutton. I believe this is the first of 4 books in the series. So that's it, not too much more reading than normal. It was pretty average. I spent a lot of my extra time sleeping, first of all, and then of course stitching and quilting. So that's what you're gonna see the bulk of today. I have one more little bit of business to take care of before we get into the stitching, and that's I wanna do a couple of quick shout outs. So there's a couple of newer Flosstubers that I wanna give a shout out to, and then there's also some other people who have really come to appreciate that I've come across recently. So I just want to show them my appreciation real quick. So the first Flosstuber I want to shout out is Tammy, and Tammy's Flosstube channel is Tammy's Cinnamon Stitches. She's an Aussie stitcher, and she's been stitching for a while, but she just started Flosstube. I think she's got a couple of videos out right now. So she's very happy and very just smiley, which is always a joy to watch somebody who's clearly just enamored with the thing that they're sharing with you, which would be cross stitching. She's new here, so go over to her channel and give her some love. Next, I want to give a shout out to another new Flosstuber, this time from Canada, and her name is Laura Sinkins. I believe that's how you say it. I'm sorry, Laura, if I said that wrong. She's got a couple of videos out now, one of which I'm going to link down below because she does a step-by-step kind of walkthrough tutorial for how she pins and laces her projects on foam board before she takes it to get framed, which I think is just genius because, I mean, I know a lot of people hesitate to take their finishes to like a box store like Michael's or Hobby Lobby to get framed because of the sort of lower quality of the service, I guess. I mean, it's, you know, younger people who are working part-time jobs who happen to learn how to frame. And then on the flip side of that, going to a professional framer is really expensive. So I think Laura's solution kind of combats that, because she's showing you how to pin it and lace it yourself to your satisfaction, and then take it to a place that can more affordably frame your project for you, which I think is awesome. And also, she is just a delight. Very smiley, very happy. I mean, she's a typical Canadian, right? Who they're always just the nicest people. So go say hi to Laura on her channel and give her a follow. Next, I want to shout out another Laura. Now, she is not new to Flosstube, and I've heard her name kind of floating around a lot recently, and I've just fallen completely in love with her. Her name is Laura as well, and her channel is Stitches. I think I left her a comment saying she was a literal ray of sunshine, just personified. She is so sweet and just lighthearted and fun and giggly. And she's also a quilter, so I already just have a big space in my heart for her, because I love it when I can connect with people on Flosstube with quilting as well. And so she has just started doing quilting videos too, so go check out her channel. She's got some amazing projects. She loves a fancy lady, and she's just a sweetheart, so definitely check her out if you haven't been there yet. And the last person I want to give a quick shout out to is Paula. Paula's channel is Stitching in High Heels. And you may have heard her name floating around. She's not new to Flosstube either. In fact, I just heard her name mentioned on another Flosstube channel. So I know she's got plenty of videos out there for you to watch. I just watched her whip parade, and she had mentioned that she's going to the Queen City Stitch Retreat in October, which is the Mirabilia themed stitch retreat, which I'm also going to. So I'm really excited because I'm gonna get to meet her, and she seems like a pretty fun gal. I think the visual of cross stitching while wearing high heels just really, that really is right up my alley. So thank you, Paula, for that. And I can't wait to meet you at the retreat. And everybody else, go give Paula a like and a subscribe on her channel as well. And of course, I will have all of these ladies' channels linked down below, as well as much as humanly possible that I mentioned, my books, my haul, my whips, etc., etc. So if you have any questions, refer to the description box. I have my email and my Instagram listed, so you can reach out to me there if you want to contact me that way. And if you have a question about something that you can't find listed in the description, just reach out to me either in a comment or an email, and I'll see if I can get an answer for you. All right, let's get started, right? Okay, so I have 7 whips to share with you today, I believe, and one of which is a fully finished object. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to share all this with you. Okay, so first I'm gonna start with my focus projects. So let's do the biggest one first, which is this here. This project called Woodland Castle. This is a DesignWorks kit, and it is a full coverage kit. I realized that it hasn't occurred to me in a while to actually tell you that it's not technically a full coverage kit, but I made it one. So the pattern has all this white space in here and here, and like in the sky back here. It's not stitched, but when I was working on it, I decided I didn't like that look. Like, I kind of thought just to have like teeny little sections of it not stitched kind of made it look unfinished to me. So what I did was I just went and bought a skein of B5200, and I'm stitching in that part. So it's full coverage for me, but it's not charted as full coverage. So if any of you out there buy this kit and you're confused about that, it's not a mistake. It's because I've been neglectful and I forgot to mention it. But so I have turned this into a full coverage because I'm filling in all those white spots. All right, so let me insert a picture here of what it looked like the last time that you guys saw it. Oh, and before I forget, the Woodland Castle is being stitched on a 14 count white Aida 2/1 full cross with the kit materials. And here is where I'm at now. So I wanted to aim to get this section finished, but I didn't quite accomplish that, but I got pretty close. So I started somewhere in the middle between these two fences or gates or brick walls, whatever you want to call them. And I did get a good chunk of it done. I'm actually really proud of the progress I was able to get done, because like on this side where I was complaining about all this confetti, it's just as confetti heavy over here with all these little flowers and such. So I finished this deer. She was just a floating head last time. And I got in these little critters, and I was able to finish all the confetti in here, and I finished most of the pathway to, you know what, I did finish all the pathway because there's a little animal that's gonna go right here. And then the rest of this is flowers, and this is like the muzzle of the fox, the big fox that's sitting right here. And I didn't want to leave this section without backstitching, because then you couldn't see the little babies. They're so cute, just like this little guy. So we have a badger. He's sticking out of the tree here, just checking things out. And we got a little squirrel friend over here, and a little bun, and they're so cute. I just love them. And then, so this is the nose of the fox right here. And then this is like, there's a bunch of big like white daisies surrounding it. And then this section is little yellow flowers. And then down in here, we're gonna see another little rabbit. So that's pretty dang exciting, because I got a good chunk of it done. I was really just anxious to get past this dang confetti up here. But I mean, it looks good, right? So my plan on this piece for next month is to finish out this section. It shouldn't take too terribly long, and then get a start on this section for March, and then hopefully finish this whole project, or this whole part out in April, so that the last thing I have to do is just scroll down to this last little bit and just do that last band at the bottom. So once I get to here and I finish this side, I will have the top half, or I'm sorry, the top like 75%, give or take, done. And then I'll just have this, like, I've got like maybe 3 rows, 2.5 rows down here to do, and then I'll be finished with the whole shebang. Okay, whip number 2 is another one of my focus projects. This one I want to have done before I go to the Queen City Stitch Retreat, because it is my Mirabilia. So this is Ophelia. She is my first Mira. I really picked a more like sizable project for my first Mira, because as you can see, like, this whole section basically is like full coverage. So I just couldn't resist, because she's so stunning and she's so pretty. So here is what she looked like the last time I showed her to you. And she is being stitched on a 32 count, what is it? 32 count dark olive linen, 2/2 full cross. All right, and here is where I got to. So last time you saw her, it was just like the tiniest little bit of progress up here. I think I had a little bit of this lily pad, but I managed to get all of this in, which is pretty good. And I have to give a big thank you to Carla from Carla Being Crafty for helping me with how I stitched this physically. If you watched my last update, you'll remember that I was complaining about having to reach behind, like all the way over here with my right hand. And Carla was like, stitch it upside down, you turkey. She didn't say it like that. She said it a lot nicer. But she had kindly pointed out that if you take a project in a big piece like this and then flip it 180 degrees, your X's, of course you flip your pattern too, your X's come out the same way. And it hadn't occurred to me to do that. And I really appreciate her giving me that advice, because obviously now I don't have to reach as far when I'm doing my one-handed stitching with this. So yeah, I really appreciate that she helped me do that, because that made the stitching this a lot more enjoyable. And so I had originally planned to go across the top so that doing the bottom part would be easier for my hand and more comfortable. But I think now what I'm gonna do is flip it upside down and stitch this half like this way. And then I'll be able to flip it right side up and then stitch this half so that it's more comfortable for my hand. But I'm really excited with this little section, because down in here is where all these like flowers are. And so I would be stitching away, and then I'd see the symbol for another pink flower, and I get really excited because I love these colors. And there's gonna be some orange flowers down here too. Let me get you the pattern. So you see there's some orange flowers down at the bottom. So I'm excited to get those in. I believe actually this next section right in here has a bunch of orange flowers. So I'm excited to work on those, because I haven't stitched that color yet in this whole pattern. That's my progress on her. And like I said, I do want to have this finished by October so that I can take it with me to the Queen City Stitch Retreat, because I want to put it on the brag table, since it's my first Mira and I'm very proud of it, and she's beautiful. Okay, I've got one more focus project to show you, and that is this one here, which is my Long Dog Sampler, the Pointed Fifth. Right in here. So, my plan for this one is to try and finish as much as possible by the end of the year, because I did stitch 2023 as the date, thinking when I started it last year, a year's enough time to finish it, but I was clearly young and naive and a baby stitcher who didn't realize that when you work on a lot of projects, that's not the case. So I'm just gonna stitch as much as humanly possible and try in earnest for a finish this year, but I highly doubt that's gonna happen. So anyways, here is a photo of what it looked like the last time I showed it to you. I had just finished the entire middle row, got all the way to the other side of the project, and it is being stitched on a 32 count Lugana in the color Exotic Orchid, and it's 2/2 full cross. All right, and here is where I am now. So I have gone up. All right, so you guys have seen that bottom part. Let's bring it in closer. So I'm going up. I put in, oops, let me fold this back a little bit. I put in little crab and little white bunny, and we got a little spider here. If you're seeing this for the first time, I've been using some gold DMC Diamante, I don't know how you say it, in little places in the other sections. So my little spider got it this time. And my plan is to keep going up. So right in here is like a diamond shape. This pattern goes all the way around and comes back to a point, and that up here is the top. And there's little animals across the top. So I've got, you know, a few more inches to go to get to the top. And then once I do that, then I'll start expanding the other way. But still loving it. I'm still, you know what I just realized though in the camera, that, so here's the crab, right? And I used pinks in the back, but I just realized this looks like a mouth. These look like lips and like teeth. It's like the crab is smiling for the camera. That's fun. So I like the crab because I'm a Cancer. Cancer's animals, crab. And so I'm glad I got to put that in. And up here in this little shape, I believe is a dog. Yeah. So we got this little dog here just frolicking around. So he's gonna go in next, and then I'm gonna work on the top half and get these two little guys in here and go that way. And my plan is to, so like obviously the borders are being done in these purples. But my plan is to like, so we've got these little negative space animals in here. So instead of using the different colors on the animals themselves, I'm just gonna do this diamond in a color and this diamond in a color, and then I'll do, you know, 6 different colors. And then kind of the same concept down here at the bottom. That's my plan, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm just gonna keep trucking. I'm gonna, for the next time you see this, I wanna finish all the way up to the top and over to the pig. And then beyond that, I'm just gonna see if I can get more of this little opening finished and more of those animals in there. And just keep going. All right, so my New Year, New Start is the next project. And that's this one here, which is the Magical Creatures Calendar by Clouds Factory that I got on Etsy. So for the month of January, I had done this block, the January block, which looks like this here. This is what it looked like the last time you saw it. And I am stitching it on a 16 count lilac Ada, 2/1 full cross using all the DMC colors, plus an addition. Okay, so I finished February, for the month of February. And the addition that I mentioned is I added some sparkle threads to a couple of the colors so that they stood out a little bit more on the darker purple fabric. So you can see it most prominently in the blue in the border, but I also have sparkles in the greens, in the reds, purples, which you can't, there's not a lot of purple yet, so that's not a great description. And then also in the white, which the white sparkly thread is really more of just like a slightly holographic rainbow-esque thread. It's not really that sparkly, so you kind of can't see it on camera, but you can see the subtlety of it in person, so that works. And these threads are the DMC light effects that I'm using. And then you'll notice that even though, and you can kind of see it, even though these reds are glittery, the February isn't, because I kind of decided that since not all of the month titles are a color that I will use the light effects with, I was just gonna leave them all the called for color without the addition of the glittery thread. But yeah, I wanted to do February, and it's super cute. I really love the way the frog turned out. He's so cute. So this is like the frog prince, I guess, and these are love potions for February. Somebody needs to give him a kiss so he can be a prince again. And my plan for next month is to do March. And March is this way. So it's long like this, but it goes all the way to the opposite corner this way. So let me show you. So here is March, and it's got a phoenix in it. Now, whenever I put all the red in this phoenix, it's gonna look stunning. I think it'll look so nice. And then I'll be able to have reached the opposite corner, and that box will obviously be all sparkly too. So I'm really excited for how that one's gonna look. Like the phoenix and the dragon, those are gonna look super good. I'm excited to get through these. So my plan for next month is to do March. Okay, so the next 3 projects I'm gonna show you are all new starts. I started 3 new projects. I know my plan was 2, but I did 3. And I have to point some fingers this month because this was the month of enabling Kelly while she was home recovering from surgery. I'm gonna call you out by name because I want you to take responsibility for your enabling. The first person I'm gonna call out is Denise of the Black Ribbon Stitch Studio, because, and I mentioned this last time, that Denise had inspired me, enabled me to purchase this pattern here. This is Freedom 1865 from the Primitive Hare. And I decided that I wanted to stitch this small for Black History Month because February was obviously Black History Month, and it is important that we acknowledge the cultural significance of that. And so I wanted to make sure that I participated by stitching this project here. And not only did I finish it, I fully finished it. So here you go, Denise. I got it finished and framed. Now, I made several changes to this pattern. Well, not several. I made a few. So let's go over that real quick. Most notably, I think you'll see that it's backstitched. And that is because I'm not a big primitive fan. Obviously, you have a pattern from the primitive Hare. It's got a primitive flavor to it. But I really like the look of backstitching. In fact, Laura, who I gave a shout out to earlier, Laura Sinkins, said that she likes my love of backstitching in a comment on one of my videos. And I really do. So I mean, I added it here. I think it gives it a little bit more of a modern touch. Additionally, I also shortened her. So if you see on the original pattern, she's quite long. But I wanted her to fit a little bit more snugly in a 3x5 frame. This is, on the original pattern, it would have been roughly, yeah, it's done in centimeters, and I'm a dumb American. So it would have been like 5.5 by 3 and some change. So I shortened her a little bit so she fits a little bit more uniformly in a what size is this? 3x5? 3.5 by 5, I think. And I think she looks great in there. The other thing that I changed is her skin is originally charted in 310 black, and I didn't like the look of it, so I switched it. There's a called for brown, like a dark brown, that is the letters here and some up here. And that's also the color that I did the back stitching with, was the brown. And so I made her skin the dark brown and then just used the black for the boots. And then I think the, like the little stitches there. And I think she looks better that way. I think she looks more realistic that way. And that's what I wanted. So she, obviously I don't have a before picture, but she is stitched on an 18 count natural rustico Ada 2/1 full cross, and I am obsessed with her. I think she's so cute. She sits, I have a little bookshelf back here behind the camera that's right next to my kitchen, and so she sits up there right next to my my bachelor's degree diploma. Actually, I have the folder that has like my university name sitting on there. The actual degree is in a frame, but so she sits next to that. If you are unfamiliar, or if you're not an American, 1865 was the year the Civil War ended and slaves were officially free, which is why it says freedom. And that's why I felt like it was really important to stitch her for Black History Month. So I'm really glad to have this project in my possession, and she's my first finish for 2023. Freedom 1865 by the Primitive Hare. So the next whip that I had planned to start for the month of February in my whip parade and plans video is this one here. This is a Dimensions Gold Petite Kit, and it's called Cozy Cub. And it is stitched on an 18 count ivory Ada with the kit materials 2/1 full cross, except for the background and like a little bit of the foreground. That's going to be in half cross, and there are a couple of single strand floss stitches and triple strand floss stitches, but the majority, like where the most, like the densest color is 2/1 full cross. So back here and kind of up here is just where there's different floss counts, and it's in half cross. So I got a pretty cute little start here. I got my True Crime Junkie needle minder, and this is on an 8x8 Q-snap. And I just kind of started on his little face. Right, I'd say like right in here is the middle of the, right in here is like the middle of the fabric. So I kind of just worked that way because I wanted to get his little face in there. I've got most of him done here. Like these are all stitched in, but I'm missing, got some holes over here on this side. And he is just the cutest thing. His little sleepy mouth is gonna go right here, and then his little ears are gonna come in. This is like fuzzies that are sticking out of the ear. So he was just so cute to work on. I'm excited to do more of him. Okay, now I'm gonna call out my next enabler, and that is my sister. Her name is Stephanie, and she also does not even know I have a YouTube channel. So she's not gonna see this or feel any sort of guilt whatsoever. Okay, so this one is gonna come with a bit of a background story. So I am a millennial, my sister's a millennial. She turns 40 this year and I'm 33. Why is that relevant? Because we are the first like technological generation, right? So the internet, computers in every home, smartphones, all of that kind of started with our generation coming up. So along with that is the invention of social media. One of those social media trends was a little something called Vine, which I suspect most of you won't know, but if you know what Vine is, it's very much like TikTok. It was a short form, like hyper short social media platform where people could post like 30-second videos that sometimes go viral. And it was a very short-lived platform because I think it lasted like 4 or 5 years before it died out, and then TikTok took over. So Vine is kind of like TikTok. It's like the precursor to TikTok. But while it was in its heyday, there were several videos that, for whatever reason, just kind of grabbed my generation by the throat and took hold and went viral and now live in infamy. I'm going to show you one of those now.
Hold on! This is my favorite. Hold on! Her sister was a witch, right? And what was her sister? A princess! The Wicked Witch of the East, bro!
I'm gonna stab him.
You're gonna look at me and you're gonna tell me that I'm wrong? Am I wrong?
It's my favorite
She
movie.
wore a crown and she came down in a bubble,
I'm
dog!
not fighting with you.
Grow up,
I'm not fighting
bro!
with you.
Grow up!
Get educated.
So that video is one of my absolute favorites. I don't know why. It's dumb. It's pointless. It's the middle of a completely useless argument between two people I don't know about the two witches in The Wizard of Oz. But it's so funny. I laugh every time I see it. The blonde guy that's yelling is arguing with his friend over whether or not Glinda the Good Witch was a princess. And he is so adamant that he is right. And he's not even a little bit right. He thinks that Glinda the Good Witch is not a witch, she's a princess, which is not true. Glinda the Good Witch is just bougie and she wears a crown. He also thinks that Elphaba the Wicked Witch is her sister, and that's also not true. Elphaba's sister was the one that Dorothy's house landed on, where the sparkly red shoes came from. So that's an added layer of entertainment because he's actually incredibly wrong. And he was willing to lose his friendship over that. So, all that to say, that was one of those popular vines that both me and my sister loved. And now on TikTok, what happens is creators will take some of those old viral vines and breathe new life into them by re-releasing them as TikToks. And we get to relive the ridiculousness of it all over again. So there's a TikTok creator out there who has her own Etsy shop, and she posted this video.
Hold on!
This is my favorite.
Hold on! Her sister was a witch, right? And what was her sister? A princess! The Wicked Witch of the East, bro!
I'm gonna stab him.
You're gonna look at me and you're gonna tell me that I'm wrong? Am I wrong?
It's my favorite
She
movie.
wore a crown and she came down in a bubble,
I'm
dog!
not fighting with you.
Grow up,
I'm not fighting
bro!
with you.
Grow up!
Get educated.
So my sister, the one who enabled me, sent me that video with a request to stitch that for her. And clearly I was looking for an excuse to do it because that same day I kitted it up from my stash and started it. So I am working off of that pattern from my laptop. I don't have an actual physical photo to show you, so I'll insert the photo here of what it's gonna look like when it's done. And the pattern name is called She Came Down in a Bubble Dug. And which is great. And the Etsy shop name is Landscapes Are Boring, which is also great. So I will link her Etsy shop down below. Definitely go check her out. She's got a lot of different like fun patterns like that are more modern. They're kind of a lot of pop culture references. There's like Hamilton and Doctor Who and Beetlejuice and Hocus Pocus and, you know. So give her a look-see. So I'm gonna show you where I managed to get on that pattern, which is this here. So I'm working in the middle, starting from the middle out. The middle is here, like right below where the ampersand is. And I am stitching this on an 18 count Aida in, what is this called? I think it's called Vintage, but so you can see there's modeling on it, right? But it's a printed Aida. So like the modeling's not dyed, it's printed on there. So, and it's a Zweigart Aida. And so the last 3 projects I just showed you were on 18 count Aida, and I gotta say guys, I think that's my favorite fabric and count to stitch on currently is an 18 count Aida. Like I haven't stitched on a 36 count like even weaver linen, so I can't really compare the two. But at least in terms of Aidas, I really like the 18 count. I really just like the size of it. So I only have the, you're gonna look at me and you're gonna tell me that I'm wrong. Am I wrong? But I don't have the am. And then the guy he's fighting with says, it's my favorite movie. I just love it. So this was my other bit of enablement, you know what I'm trying to say. And I'm excited to get to work on this. Like I said, I clearly wasn't like, she didn't exactly twist my arm to do this for her because I was like, okay, and started it right away. So this is gonna show up. Her birthday's in September. I've got plenty of time to finish it, but I'm excited to work on it still. So this is gonna show up. You'll see this again in the next couple months until I finish it. Okay, the next person I'm pointing fingers at and calling out is my own mother. She saw my last Quilter's Corner video, or was it my last one? I think it was my last one, where I had made a project bag and I was like, look at this. And she had commented saying she wanted some. So I made her some as Valentine's Day presents because she travels a lot. So she wanted to be able to put, you know, her stitching and her quilt projects in little bags to take with her when she travels. I don't have them here with me to show you because obviously I gave them to her for Valentine's Day. So I'm gonna insert a video that I filmed before I gave them to her. Hello, Flosstube friends. Just popping in really quick so I can show you this project before I take it over to my mom. So it's February 13th, Monday before Valentine's Day, and I made a Valentine's Day gift for my mom. She had seen the project bags that I made in that bag that I made in that other video. And she said, you know, I could definitely use some of those. So I made some for her for Valentine's Day. I just wanted to show you those real quick before I give them to her, because obviously then I can't show you at the end of the month when I do my update. So the first one I made is this one here. And this one is like a patchwork bag that I made using cuts from a panel from one of my favorite fabric designers, Melody Miller. She designs for Ruby Star Society. So I have these 4 on the front, very retro, very fun. And these on the back, also very retro, very fun. And very pink for Valentine's Day. And then for the inside, I have this really cool vintage, also kind of retro feel fabric that came from Cotton and Steel. And the colors of the balloons kind of matches the colors on the bag, so that's why I chose it. And then I also did this really fun thing where I made like a little doodad. I made a little charm that is detachable. See? Woo. So you can use it as a zipper pull, you can use it as a scissor fob, or as like a floss drop, like decoration on your floss ring. It's got just little pink and silver beads, little pearl beads, and then a little dangle at the bottom. Very cool. So this bag is 14 by 14. It comfortably fits an 11 by 11 Q-snap with room to grow, so you can stuff it with all your floss and fabric and the pattern and the like. So I made that one for her, and then in case that one was too big, because she does like to travel, and this, I kind of think that's what these bags are for, I made her a smaller one that's a little bit more like psychedelic. So this one is 11 by 11. Let me show you. This is an 8-inch hoop. She normally stitches with a tension hoop, I think. So this comfortably fits an 8-inch hoop. This pattern, or I'm sorry, this print is like a psychedelic leaf print. And then I finished it with this kind of metallic black fun fabric at the top, a little black ribbon decoration at the seam here. And then of course I also made another little doodad. Since this one's more fun and more psychedelic, I put a little mushroom bead there, and he's got some cool bead friends, and then it's got a little black tassel at the bottom. The inside of this one is like it's kind of reminiscent of like a wood grain or like a sand or even agate print. I'm not really sure what it is, but it's cool. Hot pink, and it's got a little bit of gold metallic accent as well, so it kind of just matches the vibe, right? So anyways, that is her Mother's Day present. I'm about to head out the door and go give it to her, but I wanted to share with you guys first before I no longer had these in my possession. So that was fun. I mean, that was a fun little stitchy project. I actually really like making those project bags, and she really liked them. She thought they were cute. So before I show you my haul and wrap up the video, I want to announce that I'm going to do a giveaway for a couple of reasons. Number one, obviously I finished a project, so I want to pass the stash, and I reached a milestone this month with getting to 800 subscribers, which is really awesome. So thank you so much for that. So to say thank you and pass on some stitchy kindness, what I want to do is a giveaway of this pattern here, the Freedom 1865, but I want to do it with a project bag, a custom project bag. So what I'm going to do is whoever wins, I will comment on your comment to say that you've won, and I want you to send me an email, and then we're going to chit chat about, you know, like favorite colors and favorite activities and what you want to put in the project bag or places to travel that you like, so I can get an idea of what kind of things you might like to have your project bag made out of. And then I'll also let you pick the size. Either do the 14 by 14, which fits comfortably in 11 by 11 Q-snap, or the 11 by 11, which fits comfortably the 8-inch hoop or the 8-inch Q-snap. And so yeah, so whoever wins this giveaway is going to get the 1865 pattern, Freedom 1865 from the Primitive Hare, and a project bag that you and I are gonna design together. So the way giveaways are gonna work is just like any other. So in order to avoid internet trolls or bots being triggered to enter these giveaways, you're not going to use the word giveaway, win, prize, anything like that. And I need you to be 18 or older so I can get your address to send you your project bag as well as the pattern when it's done. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you guys leave a comment down below if you'd like to enter and use the word freedom. If you want, you can just type the word freedom. You can put it in a fun sentence. You can say what you want to say and then tack freedom onto the end. I really don't mind, as long as the word freedom is in the comment. And then I'll use the random comment generator picker to pick the winner. And you will have until March 30th right? Is March 31 days? January, February, yeah. So I will film on the last day of March. So you'll have until March 30th, the end of the day on March 30th to enter for the giveaway for this video. Okay, almost there, guys. I'm just gonna share with you, first I have a little bit of Stitchy kindness I wanna show you, and then I just have a little bit of haul and some plans that kind of pertain to the haul. So we'll go over that together. And I have a few more people to point fingers at for enabling me. But first we'll do Stitchy kindness. And that is this right here. So this is a couple of cute needle minders from Mad for Minders on Etsy. And this was sent to me by my very dear friend, Jen, who is the Backcountry Stitcher on Flosstube and on Instagram. So of course I'll link her channel down below. And technically she kind of enabled me too, but like, previously, because she showed me this one which says easily distracted by cats and fabric, and so I went looking for it and couldn't find it, and then bought a whole bunch of other needle binders instead. So I don't know if she gave me the one that she bought or if she found it for me and purchased it, but she has been so kind and so sweet while I've been in recovery, because she knew that I was having surgery. So she checked in and she sent this to me as like a get well soon present, which is just the sweetest, kindest thing. I love you so much, Jen. Thank you so much for these. If you're unaware, I do have a cat. I'm obsessed with cats as well. So she got me a bunch of cat themed needle minders. So we have easily distracted by cats and fabric. And then we have this one here, which is so niche. It says, dogs can't operate an MRI machine, but cats can. So this is so niche because I work in radiology. So that's going to be CAT scan, MRI, X-ray, nuke med, mammo, ultrasound, any sort of imaging, medical imaging is radiology. This is very like on the nose. I love this one. And then the last one here is this little black cat. I have a little black cat and he's reading a book that says World Domination for Cats. And I can assure you that my cat half has read that book. So this was very kind. And I've got nothing but good things to say about Mad for Minders. I'll link her Etsy shop down below. They're very strong. There's a wide variety of the themes of her minders, and that the True Crime Junkie one was a Mad for Minders needle minder. So I'm very excited to utilize these on my project. I've been saving them so I can show them on this video, but now I can use them on my projects. All right, finger pointing to the next enabler, and that's you, Tammy, from Tammy Cinnamon Stitches. So Tammy, like I said, she showed some of her finishes or the projects that kind of got her in love with cross stitching whenever she first started. And I'm not kidding you when I say it was probably 6 minutes into that video that she showed a project that made me audibly gasp. I paused it and then went and purchased the thing that she showed. So she showed a fairy garden finish that I was immediately enamored with, and she said it came from this book here, which I purchased on Amazon, and I will have linked down below. And this is Cross Stitch Fairies, and the project she showed that I'm desperate to start is this one, and this is called Garden Fairies. So it says there are fairies at the bottom of my garden. And let me bring you in a little closer. So we've got these little fairies just kind of all over. There's ladybugs everywhere. There's some dragonflies flying around. We've got little mushrooms, gorgeous flowers. Very pretty. I loved it. And so she said that, so her finish is on like an antique white or a more white piece of fabric. It's less this kind of mushroom color. And she just pulled what she had from stash, so her colors overall are brighter, and so it's just so stunning, the finished project. So definitely go check out her channel so you can see that finish. But my plan now is to have this started soon because it was so pretty when she showed it. I'm obsessed. There's a bunch of other patterns in here, and if you want me to do a flip through of this book at some point, let me know, and I'll definitely do that for you in like a Flosstube extra. There's like, I mean, even the pattern on the front, that's so pretty. You know what this fairy reminds me of? It reminds me of the blue fairy in Pinocchio. And there's a bunch of other stuff, like here you can see there's all of these little fairies. They have one for each month of the year. They have some seasonal themed fairies, some silhouettes. Like there's some really pretty stuff in here. So Tammy, I bought this because of you, and I'm gonna do the fairy garden because of you. Okay, my next bit of haul and my next enabler, I've already slapped her on the wrist for this, and that's Carla from Carla Being Crafty. So she, in one of her recent videos, showed that she bought a Joan Elliott pattern, which was this really pretty forest goddess, or I think it's called Earth Goddess. And she said that it reminded her of me because there was mushrooms in the pattern. And I was like, oh man, of course it would, because I've had that pattern on my wish list for a while. So I was like, well, I guess I gotta get it. And then of course, you know, you can't just buy one pattern. Like you can, but why would you? So I bought a whole bunch of Joan Elliott patterns, and Carla is responsible for this one. So here's the first one. This is the one that she said reminded her of me because of the little mushies. She knows how much I like mushrooms. And this is Earth Goddess, and we both decided that we want to stitch this together, although she might start it a little bit sooner because I don't really have plans for this until maybe next year. So Carla, if you want to start it sooner, go ahead. It won't hurt my feelings. And I think we're both going to change her hair to red too, so she looks a little bit more like me. So I got this one as well, and this is Peony Fairy. And the thing that we both really like about Joan Elliott's like fairies and goddesses is how much they look just like super like hippie, just vibing with nature, living their natural life. You know what I mean? Like she probably doesn't shave her armpits, you know? And that's fine by me. But I really liked her because of, peonies are my favorite flower, or one of my favorite flowers anyways. So of course I was drawn to her, but she's just like, look at her, look at her face. She's just like vibing, right? The next one I got is this one here, and this is called Mother Moon. And I love her. Not only is she just like the most beautiful, like purples and blues, she's got, first of all, the moon is the celestial body that is linked to Cancer, which like I said, I am. She's got the moon phases around her, including this symbol here, which may look familiar to you because it's right here. So there's that. We've got the moth, some precious little owls. These are what I assume are night blooming flowers. So I'm going to call them moonflowers, which bloom in the evening. Amy from Fiber Arts Amy is obsessed with moonflowers, and so am I. So Amy, you might like this pattern. And I just think she's so beautiful. And so this is kind of a series of patterns that Joan Elliott does. She has some for the different seasons. I believe there is this is Mother Moon. I think she has a father-son in like yellows and oranges and golds. I think she has some with like specific flowers too. So love her. I got two more to show you real quick. So if you've followed my channel for any length of time, you probably would have come across me saying that I really love geishas and like Asian kind of themed stitching. I have a ton of geisha patterns in my stash. And so I was really drawn to this one here, which is called For Geisha. But so Joan Elliott has a bunch of geisha patterns as well. She's got some seasonal goddesses or some seasonal geishas, and I really love this one because of these beautiful 4 ladies here. I think when I do this though, I'm gonna change the color palette so that it's a little bit more bright, like maybe change out some of these browns for yellows and some of these like the dark blue for a purple, put some, you know, just make it a little bit more vibrant just to fit my preference in terms of color. But the pattern itself is just beautiful. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the glare out of it because it's in the packaging. Like their faces look so demure. I love the fans, and then the parasol, so pretty. And the last one that I got to show you is this one here. And this is called Winter Solstice. It's a sampler. And I don't know what it is about this one that just sucked me in, but I was like, that's so pretty. It's one of her newer patterns. So I think, I mean, I hope that she's gonna add on more. I know she has an autumn one, and I think one more, which I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, maybe a Christmas themed one. But this one is specifically for the winter solstice, which is the shortest day of the year. And it's got the moon phases here. We've got some burrowing animals, right? Hibernating for the winter. It looks like kind of a Celtic knot action in the roots of this tree. Fairies. We've got an owl and like a forest scene going on up here. Little wolves howling at the moon. I love that. And then like the pine trees. So this one, I don't know. And it's only 2 colors. It's obviously mostly 310 black. And then there's this gray color that kind of shows up in a couple places, and that's it. So I'm probably gonna, when I do this, I'm probably gonna have to buy the cone of death, the 310 DMC cone. That's like an obscene amount of black thread. But my intention is to start this one this year on winter solstice, which I believe is December 21st this year. It's by near Christmas. So yeah, I love it. So thank you, Carla. I spent a whole bunch of money on a bunch of Joan Elliott's, and there's still more that I want. Okay, I have one more teensy weensy little bit of haul, and then that has to do with my plans, and then we'll be done. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Okay, my last little bit of haul is one more enabled purchase that so for this one, I'm pointing my finger at yet another Laura from Stitching by the Shore. Laura has shown this a couple of times on her channel recently, and every time she shows it, it's like my will to resist it just shrunk a little bit more, and then I just broke down and bought it. So she's working on this project here from Alforst Embroidery, and it is the black vintage sampler. And the thing that drew me to it is the fact that it looks steampunk. So I love steampunk. I'm obsessed with it. It's a design style that is very unique. If you're unfamiliar, give it a Google. But essentially it's, you take Victorian, make it grungy, and add a layer of sci-fi. That's steampunk. So it's like gold and gears and leather and a lot of mechanical things, like for example, like the dirigible or the submarine, the bike. I don't know what this kind of bike is called. the hot air balloon. All those are very like steampunk elements that I just love. So my plan is to do this, but make it steampunk. And I'll show you how I'm gonna do that. I went to my favorite cross stitch online shop, which is Everything Cross Stitch, and I bought this fabric here, which just tickles me pink. Like, I just love it. And it's a 32 count linen in copper metallic. Look at how sparkly. Look at it. Look at it. I drool every time I see this. So I bought this actually before I bought the Alforst embroidery sampler, thinking I just need to get it before it's gone so I don't miss out on the opportunity. And like, it just happened that the next day I saw Laura stitching that pattern and then I bought it. And then when they came in, well, when this came in, it's the exact perfect size for that pattern. So I was like, well, duh, I'm gonna use it for the steampunk sampler. So I have the copper metallic linen. Now I'm gonna, real quick, before I show you like the color palette that I'm using, I'm gonna insert some pictures of what I drew my inspiration from for the color palette. And so, like I said, steampunk is very like, there's a lot of metal elements and it's very industrial, but old school, and I don't know what it is. I love it. So I kind of drew inspiration from those pictures, and I'm gonna do this color palette here. So we've got this kind of like rusty brick red, like a dark brown kind of leather vibe. We're going into like gunmetal gray, some creams, gold, of course, some 310. And then what is this guy? Well, a lot of the images of steampunk show like patina on the metal, which is like where, you know, the metal is oxidized so it turns a color. The best example I can give you of that is the Statue of Liberty. So she's actually made out of copper and she oxidized and turned green. So I'm gonna use this little greenish kind of turquoise as patina in a lot of the elements there. And then I also got these three spools of the DMC, how do you freaking say this? Diamond? I don't know. It's their spools of sparkly thread. So I have like a true gold and then a darker antiqued gold that has more of a black thread rolling through it. And then I'm gonna use this one with the green in certain parts for the patina. And I'm gonna start this. So let's get into plans real quick, because I'm gonna start this one next month. I've got it kitted up, so I may as well. Yeah, I was just, you know, my imagination was flowing when I saw her working on that, Laura working on that project, and that's what I came up with. So I'm gonna start that one. And then I'm also gonna start the project that I mentioned in my Whip Parade plans video, which is this kit here. So this is Queen of Silk. Yes, Queen of Silk by Designworks. Remember what I was telling you about Asian elements and culture? Just love it. Like, if you don't believe me, look at there. I'm telling you. So I'm gonna start her. Now she, I know, is gonna take me forever because obviously there's a lot going on in here. And I mean, even though this is all pink, it's like 6 different colors of pink. So it's a lot of confetti here too. So she definitely won't be finished anytime soon, but I did want to get her started because I am obsessed. And she's gonna be stitched on a 14 count. It looks like more of a natural colored Ada. It looks ivory in the picture, but looking at it, it's kind of like a natural or like a rustico Ada. And I believe if it's anything like the other Design Works kit that I'm working on, it's going to be 2 over 1 full cross. So yeah, those are my plans. That was all my haul. We made it to the end. Congratulations to you if you're still here. I'm very impressed that you stuck around this long. I literally go back to work tomorrow. My 6 weeks of time off is up today. So I don't know that I'll have as much stitching progress to show you next month, but I will obviously do my very best. For sure, I'm gonna try and do the 3 focus projects and the 2 starts. And then beyond that, I do also want to attempt to finish the March block for my Magical Creatures calendar and put some more stitches in my present for my sister. She came down in a bubble dug. So we'll see if I can get all that accomplished. I hope so. I'm gonna stitch like the wind. And then yeah, so I'm gonna go do my Quilter's Corner video. So like I said, keep your eye out for that. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sticking around. If you did, I totally understand if you didn't. And I'll see you guys at the end of March. Happy stitching. Bye.